Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things giallo here on The King in Giallo. Our next stop on our journey through giallo cinema is the one and only giallo film directed by Giampaolo Lomi and Edoardo Mulargia, Tropic of Cancer, released on September 30th, 1972. Well, let's waste no time and get right into it. Here is Tropic of Cancer Overview. Tropic of Cancer, also called Peacock's Place and Death in Haiti, is an Italian production. The film is directed by Giampaolo Lomi and Edoardo Mulargia, billed as Edward G. Muller, who both also co-wrote it along with Antonio de Teffè. Music is composed by Piero Umiliani. The cast is comprised of Antonio de Teffè, billed as Anthony Steffen, as Dr. Williams, Anita Strindberg as Grace Wright, Gabriele Tinti as Fred Wright, Umberto Raho as Philip, and Stelio Candelli as Garner. The plot follows Dr. Williams, a scientist in Haiti, who has created a powerful new hallucinogen, something that immediately attracts the attention of criminals and opportunists eager to cash in. When Williams refuses to sell, the situation escalates and a wave of killings begins to spread around him. Meanwhile, his old friend Fred arrives on the island with his wife Grace, hoping that a tropical retreat might help patch up their troubled marriage. Instead, they soon find themselves drawn into the same spiral of greed, danger, and murder that surrounds Williams' deadly discovery. 1972 was a landmark year for gialli, overflowing with productions, so it's always interesting when a film tries to carve out its own distinct identity. Unfortunately, ambition alone doesn't guarantee success. Tropic of Cancer certainly veers off the beaten path, but that doesn't make it a good film. Let's clear something up first. Despite its title, the movie has no connection whatsoever to Henry Miller's infamous novel of the same name. As Troy Howarth puts it, while there's no shortage of nudity and sleaze scattered throughout, the film bears about as much relation to Miller's book as The Black Belly of the Tarantula, 1971, does to Sartre. The title here is meant to evoke its supposedly exotic setting, which in theory could have brought freshness to the formula. To the film's credit, the Haitian backdrop does add some novelty, with ritualistic ceremonies and sweaty tension giving it at least a different texture from the Italian or Spanish set gialli. The film also manages a handful of memorable sequences, some brutal kills staged with impact, and a few hallucinatory dream scenes that hint at something more imaginative. It even gives us one of the most entertaining asshole characters in the entire genre, whose sheer abrasiveness almost becomes a reason to keep watching. But for every strength, the film stacks up two weaknesses. Much of the Haitian footage is squandered, often turning into awkward, pseudo-documentary inserts with non-actors who don't seem to know how to behave in front of a camera. Extras smile, laugh, or mug directly at the lens, constantly breaking immersion and making scenes feel amateurish. On top of that, the nudity is relentless to the point of being obnoxious, coming across more like padding than part of the story. The result is that whatever atmosphere the location might have provided is undercut by sloppy execution. The plot itself drags under a half-hearted variation on the industrial espionage theme that had already bogged down Dario Argento's The Cat o' Nine Tails, 1971. Strip it down, and it's really just another tale of greedy characters scheming and double-crossing one another for drugs, money, or sex. The drug MacGuffin is never clearly explained, nor does it need to be. The only point is that everyone wants it, and they're willing to kill to get it. Characterization doesn't help matters. Dr. Williams is meant to be mysterious, but he comes across as dull. Grace and Fred are cliches straight from soap opera melodrama, their endless marital bickering dragging the film down even further. The rest of the cast barely even registers. In gialli, thin characterization isn't unusual, but when a script also fails to generate suspense or shocks, it turns the experience into something plodding and lifeless. Directorial credit is split between Giampaolo Lomi and Edoardo Mulargia. though most evidence suggests Mulargia was the driving force. Credited here as Edward G. Muller, Mulargia was born in Sardinia in 1925, began screenwriting in the 1950s, and transitioned to directing in 1962. He specialized in spaghetti westerns such as Chamango, 1967, and Don't Wait, Django, Shoot, 1967, but never rose above the level of a competent journeyman. Tropic of Cancer would be his one and only giallo credit before his death in 2005. Much less is known about co-director Gian Paolo Lomi. Born in 1930, he mostly worked in production and contributed to Jacopetti and Prosperi's notorious Mondo documentary Goodbye, Uncle Tom, 1971. His only other directorial credit is The Barons, 1975, which featured familiar giallo names like Ira Fürstenberg and Leopoldo Trieste. Beyond the 1970s, his film activity seems to have dwindled considerably. The acting doesn't salvage things. Anthony Steffen delivers another typically stiff performance, while Anita Strindberg at least adds some heat in a number of nude scenes. Genre regulars Umberto Raho and Gabriele Tinti appear, but neither manages to leave much of an impression. Despite being touted for its exotic setting, the film's sequences of documentary footage are the only moments that stand out, shot on location and authentic in their details, though even these moments often betray the film's amateur edges. In the end, Tropic of Cancer is a curiosity more than a rewarding viewing experience. It tries to distinguish itself with exotic locations and a pseudo-political plot, and it does offer some solid kills and surreal flourishes, but the sluggish pacing, weak character work, and uninspired direction sink it. Even with recognizable names like Steffen and Strindberg attached, it remains one of the more lifeless gialli of 1972. A film that promises something different, but ultimately delivers very little. Thank you for watching this overview video. As of the time of recording this, Tropic of Cancer appears to be available on Tubi, Amazon Prime Video, plus on many sites. Don't forget to support these movies by buying them on physical media wherever possible. Stay tuned for my unscripted movie review for Tropic of Cancer, as well as the Gialli Tally. Comment your predictions for the AZ score for the movie and the final Gialli Tally score. Thank you very much for your continued support. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
Your car is here from the Hotel Rancho. Step this way, please.
How about that? I wonder if the hotel had a car waiting for Christopher Columbus.
I've been bitten and it hurts.